you because you're
Oh, yeah. Hi there, and welcome to the I'll Try That podcast. This week, I'm joined by Mr. Joseph Druitt.
Ahoy there.
I believe Barbara was meant to be joining us, but I believe he's having a dog disaster or something to do with work. I'm not too sure. But he might swing in.
He said he needed some more time before we could start with him.
That's right. So he might pop up halfway through.
He'll grace us with his presence later on.
Yeah. So this week we are travelling to Poland to try. I have no chance of pronouncing this. Żywiec,
something like that.
Żywiec Premium Lager, which I picked up on my recent trip to Krakow in the duty free. I was like, you know what? I'll pick up some premium beer for the boys. For us to try on my international travels.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember trying this one when I was in Poland, but hey ho, we will give it a go. But I'll hand over to Mr. Joseph Druitt first, because you are going to talk us through the hot topic for today.
I am. I'm going to talk to you about our friends at Toast Ale. We've covered Toast before.
Yeah,
they are no longer Toast Ale. They've come. It's new year, new them. They've now come with a whole new name of Toast Brewing, which I think that's a good name change.
Well, I like it. Yeah, it's not too much of a stretch, which is fine. They make beer out of bread, and they're a brewery, so I get it. It works.
Yeah, that's it. And they've made it very clear on their packaging now. They're sustainably brewed with surplus bread. Brilliant.
Yeah, excellent.
Making it very clear of what people need to see. And this has come with a whole new fresh look. Rich, I sent you a photo of this new fresh look on cans. What do you think of it?
Give me 1 minute while I pop it. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's not great. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. No.
I was quite surprised they signed this off. If I'm honest. It's quite psychedelic-esque, isn't it? I think I was saying off camera. It feels like it's like a hemp-based, cannabis-based product.
Yeah.
From the bright, overly bright colours they're going with. It doesn't look natural. If they're like a sustainably sourced, made with bread kind of based company, I don't know. The colours are quite interesting, aren't they?
Well, yeah. I've just had a Google so I could refresh their old look, which was quite minimalist, quite basic. But kind of to the point, which I really enjoyed. This kind of looks like a pre-done template you'd get on Canva, and they've just kind of stuck it on.
That is very uncomfortable, I'd imagine, for the design studio who did that, because it's B&B Studio, based out of the UK. They have done some pretty interesting stuff, but I'm afraid to say, B&B, I agree with Rich. This does not look good. So I'm surprised that this went forward, if I'm quite honest. That Toast Brewing, the new name, that they were happy with this design, and also even put it together. Because everything else about it, like planet-saving brewing, the kind of the off-pack design work that they have done, looks really interesting. Again, it's nothing breaking the mold. It's like an interesting, color, and they're just using a lot of tone of voice, copy-wise, to explain what they're all about. But yeah, the design of the cans are a bit of a wah in my mind.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at their old logos, and it was just a simple block colour with kind of like a circle, with like a white circle with toast in the middle, and I really liked it. It really worked.
Wow.
This, as I said, it looks a bit like a breakfast drink almost. Get your breakfast, like your yogurty breakfast drink you occasionally have in the morning.
And I just think, do you think as well with how they've done the word toast? Is it in this shape? Do you think that's meant to mimic being a loaf of bread?
Oh, 100%.
I kind of get it could be bread, but also as well how they've expanded typography they've done, which is quite long. It just looks a bit comical. I don't know if that's because it's rising. It's like bread rising. They're again playing on the theme that it's about bread, but I don't know.
I just don't like looking at it. If I was to see that on the shelf in the beer section, I'm not picking it up. I'm not drawn to it. I'm a bit like.
It wouldn't make me feel like it's tasty. Let's put it that way.
No, I'm just looking at the green can in the background of that picture, the pale ale, and looking at the actual toast bit with the black back done to it. It looks awful. It looks like an energy drink.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid so. And they've got a new a session IPA that's in this like bright red, almost cherry color that looks like an energy drink to me. Doesn't look like a beer. And I know breweries in craft world have really toyed with this space of like, are they an energy drink? Are they not? You know, we talk about Tiny Rebel a lot of the time, and they do a lot of that stuff, and they're verging onto it. But this just seems almost juvenile, doesn't it? It's not even like they've really tried that hard. So I'm a bit of a shock that Toast. I mean, we're all for the Toast Brewing name change. I think that's great, and I think they're kind of the doubling down on their purpose, sustainably B Corp stuff, brilliant, working with reusable bread. But this pack design is wow.
Yeah, I have no problem with the message and what Toast is doing. I just have a problem with their new design.
Yeah.
Shall we
move on to something else after ripping into that pack design for
Toast
Brewing?
Sorry, Toast. Like I'm not saying I could do any better.
Yeah.
Last time I was drawing, it was just circles. So
right, Żywiec
premium Polish beer.
Yeah. So you picked this up on your travels, did you, Rich?
Yes, I picked this up when I was in Poland last year now, wasn't it? Yeah, last year I was in Poland September time. And I was like, I should probably pick something up, but you can't bring any liquids through, can you? Into the over 100 milliliters. So I was a bit gutted because I picked up some vodka, and then all of a sudden as I was coming up to the queue in the duty free, there was a beer fridge. And I was like, who's buying cold beer before getting onto a flight? Which I like, pre-prepared if you get onto your EasyJet flight sort of thing. But yeah, I saw it, I was like, you know what? It was the options of beer I could buy was Desperado Red and this. Zyke. I'm butchering this horrifically. So I picked up some cans and I've been looking forward to trying them. Fortunately, I can't read anything on the packaging because it is all in Polish.
Yeah. It is pronounced, Żywiec is pronounced ZHI-VIETZ.
Żywiec
is the Polish pronunciation. Again, I probably pushed that to everyone. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So you found this at the airport. Not surprising that this is where you would, that it was very available in Poland, because it's a very old brewery in Poland. It's been around since 1856, which is crazy. The brewery was established by Archduke Albrecht Frederick of Austria.
Like this,
an Austrian.
Great name though.
That's it. So the Archducal connection, the brewery was founded on the estate of Archduke Albrecht, and the water used in brewing this beer comes from the nearby mountain springs. The water source is believed to contribute to the beer's quality.
Oh, I'd like to tell you, it's a big thing, the water, isn't it? What is it? Is it Asari really going on the water, isn't it? Is it Asari?
I think everyone has to.
Yeah.
It's like water is obviously the main product of beer, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say, you've got no one in London claiming they use the Thames, though, have you?
No, that's probably not how they do it. I think it's interesting. Does it come across as an old beer? Are you, Rich?
Not really. In all honesty, I was expecting something maybe a little bit more heavier. Heavier, a bit more denser in taste.
Why is that? Why would you think that?
I just, in all honesty, it is just me thinking old is heavy. That's
old is heavy.
Yeah, you look at all the stuff they made back in like the Victorian times and all this sort of stuff. It's just corrugated steel and just heavy, real dense.
To be fair, they do say as you get older in life, you do get heavier. So there you go.
That's it. Yeah, see, my statement stands. This is
old is heavy.
Old is heavy.
Young is light. Right.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, you look at a crisper, fresher lager. The younger breweries. It's lighter.
Sapporo's around a very long time. Sapporo's been around ages. They're like beers. They're old.
No. Look, we'll just go on my logic. It's fine.
Okay. Got you. I won't dig too deep onto that one.
Don't dig too much into it. I'm also very cold at the way because I've just come back from paddleboarding. So
lovely. So do you think you might want to do a merry jig like the illustration on these cans? Basically, it's a man and a woman doing some sort of dance what I can only presume is traditional Polish garb.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming by the looks of it. Yeah. Well, you say that. When I have beer in me, I do like to do a little jig. In fact, just this morning, it was commented on my dancing last night. Apparently, I just put my legs together and kind of just wobble from side to side as a Drabwell dance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I quite like that. I quite like them. The Polish couple dancing.
Okay.
I've got a bit of time for that, and it's got a crown on it. So I'm assuming that's related to the Duke. Was it a Duke who?
Archduke.
Archduke. Yep. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's corresponding with that. I wish I could read the can a bit more.
Well, I'll put it through a little Google Translate. If you throw your phone up against it, it'll translate the can for you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it's been associated with the town of Żywiec, so in southern Poland. So it is actually a place, as we said. There's the Archduke's land where it started. And yeah, I think they do a lot of pilsners, they do a lot of lagers. We're trying their original beer. I believe this is what we're having, which is their original lager. And the brewery has being, I guess, in the kind of the South Poland, maybe in the influence of the Archduke's land, maybe kind of close to Austria, Germany. Basically, they follow the Reichsgebot, which, do you know what that is, Richard?
I don't know what the Reichsgebot is.
We have talked about this a few times. Matt, if he was on right now and recording, would be putting his hand up and telling us all about it. It's the beer purity law.
Yes, we did talk about this. I even did a quiz on it. There was a question on it, wasn't there? In the quiz.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
So it basically, and with that, it limits it says very strict standards for German beer, and restricts the ingredients to water, barley, and hops. So it's only a 3 ingredient. Well, obviously with some yeast in there, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it is a lager or a pilsner. This original beer. So you're probably seeing yourself as like German influence.
Yeah.
In the Polish, but it's the number 1 beer in Poland, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading. It's quite an interesting bit here. So it was owned by the Habsburg imperial family until it was confiscated.
The Habsburgs. The
Habsburgs, yeah, not the Habsburgs.
Ooh.
The Habsburgs. But it was confiscated by the post-World War II communist government of Poland at the beginning of 1990. A court case was started by the descendants of the original owners who sued the Polish government demanding 77 million.
Well, what did they get that money?
Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, hold the line, caller.
Hold the line, yeah. The case was settled out of court on undisclosed terms in December 2005. So we will never know.
Oh, they must have got like 76 million, you know?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit.
So it went from the Habsburgs to being taken by the Polish Communist Party government.
Yeah.
And then, do you know who it's owned by?
I do. Is it Heineken?
It is indeed Heineken. Since 1994, the Heineken Group have owned this brewery.
And they're 99% of the shareholders.
They do indeed. And although it's got this international, being part of the global Heineken Group, it's really maintained and doubled down on that Polish identity. And where it's going to produce. And I mean, I've never come across this beer in the UK, so I don't know if it's exported outside. I'm going to have a quick look at that while you tell us a fun fact about this beer.
A fun fact about this beer?
Yeah.
Give me one.
Maybe
minute.
how it tastes. What do you think it tastes like?
I'll give you one fun fact. It produces 5 million hectolitres a year, making it the second largest brewery in Grupa Żywiec. There's a fun fact. 5 million hectolitres. So taste-wise, I'm not blown away by it.
Okay.
As it comes down, it is very much in my eyes. If I was to compare it to a British lager, you're looking at your Carlsbergs, your Fosters, kind of low price point, lowish ABV sort of things to 5.58. But it's not, yeah.
What do you think then against those ones? Because you've compared it against some breweries and beers that we've not said the nicest of things about. I must say in our previous in other time. So how do you think it compares against it then?
I think it's maybe a little bit better than your Carlsberg and Fosters. Like I actively don't drink Carlsberg or Fosters at all unless it's a lager shandy. And yeah, it's a bit better, but I'm not going to go out. If I go back to Poland, which I would love to go back to Poland, I wouldn't be reaching and I wouldn't be going to drink it, because when I was out there, I tried some they've got some fantastic, their craft beer scene was surprisingly good out there as well. Plus their vodka scene is phenomenal. But yeah, I wouldn't go back to it. I don't think I would go, you know what, I want a pint of, I'm not going to Zwijk. It's not, I'm not actively going to go for it.
Not going to have it again.
No.
So I'm just trying to find their Instagram account, if I'm quite honest. It's proving quite difficult to wrap this up with. We're obviously on the wrong IP address. I need to be trying to Google from Poland. But yeah, so I can't give you the numbers off the top of my head without this next couple of minutes of trying to wrap up seem really clunky and hard to listen to the listeners. So I think I'll just skip it. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to try. I mean, the number one Polish premium beer. I think it's playing a bit fast and loose with the word premium there. I think it's it's not unpleasant to drink, but it's not knocking my socks off. It's not palate cleansing as a lager. It's not it's relatively easy drinking, but again, like you compared it to Foster's and the Carlings of the UK world, I feel like this will be flat by the time I've finished, like got down to the bottom of the can. It's that kind of like vibe of the beer.
It's almost the beer that, when you're going to a house party, it's the beer that you bring along and is always left at the end of the party, and that'll be the one that they bring to the next house party that they're going on, and it's just slowly passed round more and more.
Love it. And definitely not a drink to be had warm. Sorry, you have to have this cold.
Ice cold.
It would live and die on it being cold. I think if it was to be warm, this would be quite unpalatable.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a relaxing Zwijk after work. Is what I'm saying.
But I'd imagine it's got a lot of soft spot for a lot of Poles who are because it is the Polish number one beer, and it looks and feels very Polish from obviously from the name it gives it away, but also as well like the color palette that's being used it feels very Polish. So maybe very reminiscent of good days had with this beer. So again, there's a reason why Foster and Carling is the number one drinks in beers in the UK. So this is the reason why this is the number one drink in Poland, because beer in Poland, because people love it. They love drinking it.
I would also like to caveat, I've said a lot of negative things about this beer, but Poland is amazing. Genuinely one of the greatest city breaks I've ever done. It was absolutely phenomenal. The food, amazing. The vodka, absolutely great. And I had some really, really good beers. So don't be put off by this one negative review on this one beer. Yeah. Go to Poland. It's amazing. Just don't drink this beer. Have the vodka. There's lots of other cool stuff going on. Just don't drink Zwijk.
Yeah. You can have it. Yeah, have it maybe with one of your. I'm racking my brains now for some lovely Polish foods. That what were you having while you were over there?
Well, you had them. You had the dumplings, like them.
Dumplings.
Oh, absolutely amazing. The Polish sausage. Oh my god. Potato cakes. I tried boar when I was out there, which was amazing. Generally, I had the greatest meal. I think, you have those meals that you just think back to and you go, no, my God, that was amazing. I had one of those in Poland in this restaurant, and it was just dumplings and potato cakes with this amazing gravy of this Polish sausage. And I still think about it to this day. And I was like, oh man, I really want that now.
That sounds idyllic. That sounds really tasty.
You should go. You need to go to Poland.
Absolutely.
Go to Krakow. Also, not so Polish, I had the best empanadas I've ever had in my life as well in Poland. There, yeah. They were so good I went back twice. But yeah.
It's good when you go back twice.
Oh, 100%, yeah. The woman didn't seem pleased to see me, but that's fine.
What?
I don't know. She wasn't a warm, welcoming woman, but her empanadas were amazing. Like
it's always like, how dare you order my empanadas?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she didn't seem happy that I was ordering empanadas, and I was like,
"These are my empanadas."
Empanadas, yeah. It's just hoarding your empanadas. She was annoyed I was in there twice, and I was like,
So yeah, highly recommend Poland. Don't really recommend this beer. That's basically where we net out on this one.
That's where we're finishing up.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe, Rich,
Barbara, and Simo,
goodbye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter,
I'll try that podcast.com,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now.